What's up everyone, welcome back. In today's video we're going to take a deep dive into pull-ups. This is not just a quick tutorial or a short list of tips. This is a full breakdown of how pull-ups actually work, how to perform them correctly, and why so many people struggle with them. And most importantly, how to train them properly so you can get your first pull-up or significantly increase your repetitions over time. The pull-up is one of the most fundamental bodyweight exercises. It's used in fitness tests, military evaluations, sports training, and calisthenics. But despite how common it is, it's also one of the most misunderstood exercises. Most people are taught one simple rule. If you get your chin over the bar, the repetition counts. While that might work for scoring purposes, it doesn't teach proper movement, and it often creates bad habits that limit strength development. When the main focus becomes getting the chin over the bar, people naturally start compensating. They reach forward with the neck, they lose tension in the upper back, they shrug their shoulders toward their ears, swing their body, or rely almost entirely on their arms. These compensations may help you complete the rep, but they reduce the effectiveness of the exercise. You might be getting repetitions, but you are not getting stronger in the way that actually matters. A pull-up is primarily a back exercise. Your arms assist the movement, but the main drivers should be the muscles of your upper back, especially your lats, rhomboids, and lower traps. And if your pull-ups feel like a biceps exercise, that's usually a sign that your technique or setup needs work. Everything starts with the grip. Before you even think about pulling, you need to establish control on the bar. Grab the bar with a strong overhand grip, squeeze it firmly, and wrap your thumb around the bar. A tight grip creates a connection between your hands, arms, shoulders, and your back. A loose grip leads to instability, swinging, and early fatigue. Once you're hanging from the bar, don't immediately try to pull. One of the biggest mistakes people make is starting from a completely relaxed hang and then yanking themselves upwards with their arms. Instead, you want to create what's called an active hang. From the bottom position, keep your arms straight and pull your shoulder blades down and just back slightly. Your body will rise up just a bit, even though your elbows haven't bent. This is the foundation of every strong pull-up. This is where your back turns on and your shoulders move into a safe, powerful position. Your body position under the bar matters just as much. Your body should be tight and controlled, not loose. Engage your core, lightly squeeze your glutes, bring your legs together, and keep your body in a straight line. Think of your body as one solid unit rather than separate parts hanging independently. This full body tension reduces swinging and it allows your back muscles to work efficiently. As you begin the pull-up, don't think about pulling straight up or forcing your chin over the bar. Instead, focus on driving your elbows down and slightly back while bringing your upper chest toward the bar. This cue shifts the emphasis away from the arms and into the back. Your torso may lean back slightly during the pull, and that's completely normal and even beneficial as long as it's controlled and not generated by momentum. As you move upward, your shoulder blades continue to retract, your elbows travel behind your body, and your chest approaches the bar. This creates a much larger range of motion than stopping at chin height. At the top of the movement, your chest should be close to the bar, your back fully engaged, and your shoulders still pulled down away from your ears. Your chin will naturally clear the bar without you needing to force it forward. The lowering phase of the pull-up is just as important as the pull-up itself. Lower yourself slowly and under control, maintaining tension in your shoulders, your back and your core. Avoid dropping quickly into the bottom position. As you return to the bottom, reset into an active hang before starting the next repetition. Each rep should begin and end with control. Some of the most common mistakes include craning the neck to reach the bar, allowing the shoulders to shrug upward, bending the knees, kicking for momentum, swinging excessively, and cutting the range of motion short. These habits reduce strength gains and often lead to plateaus. Clean repetitions with full control are far more effective than high numbers of sloppy reps. Now that you understand how a proper pull-up should look and feel, let's talk about how to train it. Technique alone won't make you stronger unless you apply it consistently with the right structure. What follows is a complete pull-up training approach that works whether you're trying to achieve your first pull-up or increase your repetitions. Before we jump into the actual workout, one very important thing: always warm up properly. Pull-ups put a lot of stress on your shoulders, elbows and your grip, so skipping a warm-up is one of the fastest ways to get stuck or injured. I won't go into detail here because I already made a full warm-up video specifically for calisthenics. I linked that video for you and I strongly recommend doing it before this workout. Once you're warm and ready, this is how the training itself works. This pull-up workout only needs to be done once per week for most people. Pull-ups are very demanding and one high quality session is usually enough to make progress. More advanced athletes can train pull-ups twice per week if recovery, sleep and overall training volume are well managed. But that's a different topic. This workout is mainly designed for people who cannot do 20 pull-ups yet. The main idea of this training is simple. You always start with the hardest exercise and then work your way down to easier ones. Each exercise is performed until you can no longer do clean repetitions. As soon as your form starts to break, you move to the next easier progression. The goal is to fully exhaust the pulling muscles while keeping technique as clean as possible. You always start with pull-ups. This is the hardest exercise in the sequence. Perform one maximal set with perfect form. Your goal range here is roughly 6 to 10 clean repetitions. If you can reach 10 clean reps, you can optionally do a second set, but there's no need to add a lot of volume. Quality matters more than quantity. If you can already do more than 20 clean pull-ups, you should add weight using a weight rest or belt and bring your reps back down. With added weight, the goal is again around 8 to clean repetitions. Once pull-ups are no longer possible with clean form, you move directly into pull-up holds. Jump or pull yourself into the top position with your chest close to the bar, shoulders down and back engaged. Hold this position for as long as you can while actively pulling the bar toward your chest. As soon as you can no longer maintain proper tension, you move on. Next come jumping negative pull-ups. Jump into the top position and lower yourself as slowly and controlled as possible. Focus on resisting the descent, not just dropping down. Perform as many controlled negatives as you can. Once you lose control and can no longer slow the movement, you move to the next exercise. After that, you step down to Australian pull-ups, also called inverted rows. Here, you again perform as many clean repetitions as possible. A good target range is about 15 to 20 reps. If you can do 30 repetitions in one set, the exercise is too easy. In that case, either lower your body position to increase the difficulty, or you can take a box or a chair and put your legs up, so it is also harder to pull. For example, you can also add weight with a vest, which is also a really good way to build strength. The goal is always to stay in a challenging range. Once Australian pull-ups are no longer clean, you move up to the scapular pulls, pulling your shoulder blades down and back. Perform controlled repetitions until you can no longer move through a full, clean range of motion. The final step of the workout is the hang. Either a dead hang or an active hang is fine. Hang from the bar as low as you can, while maintaining grip and body tension. Once your grip gives out, the workout is finished. The key principle of this entire workout is to fully exhaust the pulling pattern from the hardest to the easiest. You don't rush, you don't cheat reps, and you don't stay on an exercise once your form breaks down. That's how you build strength without building bad habits. In addition to this workout, for the ones of you who are more advanced, you can use an every minute on the minute format. For this, you set a timer for 10 minutes. At the start of every minute, you perform as many clean pull-ups as you can. Once you're done, you rest for the remainder of that minute. When the next minute starts, you repeat the process. If at some point you can't perform a clean pull-up, you simply wait until the next minute and try again. This method is very effective for increasing pull-up endurance and total volume, as long as you keep every repetition clean. Once the workout is finished, recovery becomes the priority. Without recovery, there's no growth. Remember that. Stretching after training is also extremely important, especially for the lats, shoulders, chest and forearms. It helps maintain mobility, it improves recovery, it reduces stiffness after heavy pulling sessions. Also, it increases your range of motion, and so it will make the full pull-up easier. I also have a full video dedicated to post-workout stretching for calisthenics. So once you're done with this training, you can jump straight to that video and follow along with the stretches to finish your session properly. I will also link this up here or down in my description. With that being said, be safe, stay strong and stay hard.